Welcome back to Torment. So, I've thought about which one of these five people is the projection, and I only took less than an hour break between recordings. I thought about sleeping on this, but then if I think about this too much, I think I'm going to wind up outsmarting myself. I mean, the obvious answer is Feriak. There's inconsistencies in what people say about him and what he says about himself. His stories or descriptions of the other people are rather short and shallow. It's pretty obvious that it's him. But then I started getting into my own head thinking that it's too obvious. And this is why I don't want to sleep on it, because I think that's the answer. Because I'm thinking about it and, okay, if this is too obvious and he isn't the projection, then who else would it be?
You're never lost so long as you can see the moon.
The only other person I could think of is Zio herself. Just kind of as a trick question type deal, but there's really no evidence to it. Fabaros is stern, he's consistent, he has a lot to say about it, everybody. Dama gave me all types of stories about everybody. And Lito's descriptions are all very detailed. It's gotta be Feriak. I'm gonna outsmart myself if I think about this or too much. So let's just answer Feriak. I know who the psychic projection is. She laughs and crosses her arms. Who? I think it's Feriak. She laughs delightedly. I won't even ask how you figured that out. If you guess, it was a lucky guess, but your instincts were right. It wasn't a guess. I deduced it. But then her face falls. I began manifesting him after he was killed. Yeah, they talked about how they lost somebody. And it talked about how Feriak was burnt out and he lost his sight, his ability to spot. And I started thinking that, it was, he lost more than just his ability to spot. He lost his life. He was our spotter, the man who saw the adversaries and lured them to our battleground. But the last adversary we fought, it was ready for us. It caught hold of the lure he offered, and it followed his mind all the way to reality. It burned. She pauses, chokes back a sob. It burned him from the inside. She looks into the distance. He lured it to us, and with his dying will, nailed it into place. It was a sacrifice any of us would have made, Zio, no matter who was in that position. He speaks softly, as if trying to convince himself. She continues, the adversary didn't pay attention to us, even as we poured our heaviest attacks into him. It was too absorbed in destroying Feriak, tearing him apart instead of defending itself, as if its first priority was in blinding us instead of preserving itself. Her voice turns hard. We beat it though, so as long as I'm breathing, I'll keep his memory alive. He'll serve his drinks and make his bad jokes, and everyone here will feel welcome. It's the least I can do in his name. Oh, and that's the other thing I didn't even think of. She talked about physicality, and he never even touches the bottles or the glasses. He makes them fly around. Yes. I mean, I had to figure it out anyway, but I didn't even think about that. Alright, well, thank you. I wonder how close I am to leveling up. 127 out of 180. Pretty close. Just almost halfway there. Rin's just getting started. Eratus is just getting started. Oh, I didn't even notice these descriptions anymore. Before. Overly impulsive glaive who is as heroic as he believes himself to be. Lost child who shapes gods. Cunning nano who pierces realities. Slick nano. Cool. Alright, I believe we're done here for now. I mean, I'm still gonna look for the hidden adversary, but not necessarily right now. Alright, so I'm done in this part of the town for now. So, if I go here, I'm pretty sure that'll lead me to the underbelly. I don't think I want to go there just yet. What I really want to do is find a place to rest. So let me lead by going up this staircase.
Yes. Now.
I have a feeling this is going to lead me back to
Let's
Government
go.
Square. But from there, I can go to other districts, if this is indeed where it goes. Or not. Not Government Square. Okay. Maybe this is Caravanserai, and I could find the room and board here. Let's talk to Barky. There's a bed right there. Seen you before, haven't I? Locals don't usually... Most of my customers are half-mad sailors, frustrated traders, and lost tourists. This man's brow is creased with worry. He avoids your gaze, his eyes fixed on a point to your left and far away. His trembling, battered fingers pluck at the air. He stares through the chattering customers, the bar, as though he is utterly alone. Stepping closer, you see a thick blue crease running down his throat into the depths of his heavy robes. An orderly rows of azure holes pierce his bony arms from elbow to wrist. Discord, he says as you approach. Scarred melody, two linked voices, but hurts. His words stream out one by one in a subdued and continuous monotone, tumbling over each other as if in a blind rush to escape. He does not meet your eyes as you step closer to examine him. Instead, he winces as though your presence is somehow painful to him. You watch him move and track the twitching of his fingertips. You hear a low, vibrating whistle, though it is not coming from his mouth. What are you doing here? Wayfarers bring me broken Numenera. I repair them for pay. I need to eat, he cries, and you don't think you're the target of his anger. The wayfarers thank me, he says, swallowing. They do not know I have remade their Numenera. They do not know, They do not know that I will also be remade. All will be remade when the choir awakens. Tell me can you remake any of my Numenera? Instead of asking to see your belongings, he looks at you for the first time. His pupils are as dark as the space between the stars. No, he says after a long moment. His eyes flick back to whatever distant, terrible place has so captured his attention. You're wounded, a broken instrument. He has no use for you. What are you staring at? The grand hall, the spiral hidden by broken columns, the invisible roof. He stops with a gasp, and tears roll down his dirty cheek. He tells me not to share our secrets with you. You are not of the choir. You are discord. A cold wind coils down from the rooftop, flicking at his tattered robes. Must not speak of a car. A car? What does that mean? You may as well have slapped the man. White with shock, he doubles over, clutching at his chest. Beneath the man's agony, you sense otherworldly indignation and angel's despair, deep as oceans. Great Akar was once the mightiest of cities, and it will rise once more when the choir awakens. His gaze meets yours. The conductor will reward your curiosity and allow me to tell you what I have seen. You need only ask. I wish to know what you have seen. Before my becoming, I found a pit ringed by stone, deep in the Arvran wood. Broken pillars at the edges. I stepped inside, breathed the dusty air. He pauses, passing a shaking hand over his mouth. I was lost in the grand hall for days, decades. Pillars twisting like hallways, spiraling, the ringing of bells, whirling chandeliers, listening to the song of the lost choir. I was an audience becoming an instrument. Finally I slept, and I woke here upon the heights. He took my voice, the man says, his eyes dull and distant, but my blood sings. I am becoming. I dream, and I remake Numenera for wayfarers, so they will become and dream as well. And together, we will go into the forest, to the ring where the grand hall once stood, and rebuild. He falls silent, eyes wide and wet, as if dreaming of the city that lives in his mind. What do you think you're becoming? An instrument, he says, swaying. A doorway. Before, I remade Numenera. Now, I wake and find devices the conductor has made for me. He is generous. Look, he says, smiling, and pulling aside his robes to bare his bony chest. Countless devices are embedded in his flesh, looping bloodlessly in and out of his ribs, linked by tubes or wire, or an opalescent sphere at the base of his throat. I think this guy has gone mad from all the ciphers he has. He's got that cipher sickness or whatever. He's got too much of it, plus maybe some other mental problems. You said you dream. What of? Proud car at its peak, he says, gaze locked on the distant ruins of the city. Instruments of metal and flesh ringing the balconies of the grand hall. The conductor, our air, breathing him in forever. You didn't even look at my belongings. Do I have anything you can remake? No. You are worthy, but broken. This time, he doesn't look at you. Alright, well. So.
Yes.
This pretty young woman stands unnaturally still. Suddenly, her large glassy eyes spring to life with a rattle and quickly lock with yours, before just as quickly snapping away. Her skin, as fair as porcelain, is cracked beneath several layers of dirt and faded makeup, and on the side of her neck you see what appears to be a small tattoo of vertical lines with glyphs etched at the bottom. For a moment, familiarity overwhelms you, disappearing as a minute shudder runs down her arms. She cast off. Her gaze snaps back to your face, but not to your eyes. She's staring at your tattoo. Jerkily, her hand rises to touch her own. She is a cast off, then. Well met. I am called Sylph. You note the slight pause before she pronounces her name. Her voice has a purring quality under which you can hear the spinning of countless gears. She coughs, just once. A small greenish cloud emerges from between her lips. How did you come by that mark? It's him, or is... I'm a cast-off of the changing god. You hear an excited clicking and her eyes flutter close briefly. I appreciate your honesty, she says, the manic working of gears sounding from deep within her chest. There's no need to lie to her, as she obviously recognized my tattoo and knew that I was either a cast-off or the changing god himself. So, she regards you, head tilting to the side, with a series of small ratcheting noises. You have the absurd impression the motion is meant to be flirtatious. I hope you will answer another question for me. Her voice takes on a more eloquent tone, deeper and richer than you've heard from her before. I wonder if you might have heard this old riddle before. She clears her throat and begins as if reciting from memory. What comes in with breath and out with a word transmutes upon death but can't be conferred. The words sound vaguely familiar, resonating in your mind even after she stopped speaking. Hold. Ha! It's what you've done for centuries. You told me. What comes in with breath and out with a word transmutes upon death but can't be conferred. Try to remember where you've heard the riddle before. The words sound familiar, but something about them is subtly wrong. Just when you think you've grasped the difference, it slips from your mind and you're left with only Sylph's expectant gaze. In with breath and out with a word transmutes upon death but can't be conferred. It's got a, I'm thinking life. Goes in with breath, well, out with a word. Death. Could be consciousness. Well, Sylph sounds pleased, still speaking in that deeper voice. Perhaps you can be of use to me after all. There's one final question I would ask you. Really? She says, face and hands unusually still. Please answer to the best of your abilities. What would you do if you met someone who had succeeded at your life's work before you, and they refused to share their method? I would find my own method. Yet you failed, haven't you? These cast-offs you make, each an imperfect shell, each an undying monument to your failure. She laughs at the look on your face. It's not a pleasant sound. And to think, all those years ago you had the audacity to call yourself a god. Look at me. Look at this. She spreads her arms and turns in a circle, clearly intending you to see every angle of her body. This is the pinnacle of a lost civilization, she gloats, the void behind her eyes replaced with fervent, furious madness. My perfect, immortal vessel, and I'm the one who discovered it. Me! She spits bright green froth that lands in the dust at your feet. That is your help. My methods are beyond your comprehension, and I'm going to make sure they stay that way. The light fades from her eyes as suddenly as it arrived. She blinks at you with the chittering of decaying cogs, folding her hands in front of her, executing a small bow. I do not know what transpired, she says. Please accept my apologies. I don't have either of these doors. Well, I have 3 points in my pool to work with. Alright, let's try to remember. 35, 55. An image appears in your mind of Sylph standing demurely beside a richly dark-clothed man who gestures at you impatiently. Sure, she's old, but she can still work. Still got that machine intelligence of hers running along nicely, unlike some others, he says. If you're lonely, she'll keep you company. If you're not, she'll keep quiet, won't you? He turns his piercing gaze on Sylph and nods. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal, the man says, leaning forward conspiratorially. I got a male model out back who's a bit more banged up. I'll do you both for, say, 1,000 shins? He winks at you. A gentleman's got to have his options, I understand. Surely I do. He leans back, pleased with himself, as the memory starts to fade. So, do we have a deal? So maybe she's not a cast-off, but she was either a companion or a property, maybe a slave of the changing god. The memory fades. Who are you? I am Sylph, she states simply, inclining her head towards you with an audible click. I am at your service. All right, well, thank you.
I am the very soul of action.
More cultists, some envoys.
Here comes the boredom slayer.
Ooh, is this a place I can sleep? Devices near the head of this bed move to match the current time of day, shading the eyes of their occupants.
I'm ready.
This looks like it might be an inn. A woman as tall and graceful as a willow steps forward to greet you. She bows, then looks down at you with warm, gold-flecked eyes. Welcome, she says, to Tranquility's Rest. I am the proprietress, Tranquility. Are you looking for a place to take your ease? Very much so. As she speaks, a sense of delicious calm comes over you, and you find yourself wanting to agree with her. There's nothing you'd like better right now than the peace and solitude of a quiet room. But listen, you don't gotta do Jedi mind tricks on me to get me to rest here. This is like, I've been desperately looking for a place to rest for like hours. She sniffs the air. There's more to this woman's charms than long legs and sweet words. She's given off some kind of calming pheromone. Interesting. Forgive me for asking, but are you human? She laughs melodiously. No need for apologies. Given my height, it is a natural question. I am indeed human, a human mutant, and fortunate to live in Sagas Cliffs, where that is not a crime. There are very few places in this world where someone like me would even be allowed to clean a hostel, let alone own one. Tell me about your... she just did. Tell me about Tranquility's Rest. She smiles. It is the most peaceful inn in Sagas Cliffs, with the most beautiful views. All rooms face outward, so that the bustle of the Caravanserai is invisible and inaudible. All you see is sky and sea and the roofs of the city far below you, and all you hear is the breeze. I am the sole owner. I have been offering solitude, security, and discretion to travelers for 20 years. You will never have as sound a night's sleep as you will when you stay here. Her perfume seems to contain some kind of pheromones. Are you manipulating me? She smiles faintly. If calming can be said to be manipulating, I suppose I am, but it is nothing more than that. I cannot control minds or influence thoughts. My sense seems to relax people. That, and another trick I learned, convinced me that opening a hostel might lead to success. Could you use your calming abilities to put me into a trance? She looks bemused. No one has ever asked me something like this before, and normally I would refuse for fear of some complication and perhaps retaliation for that. But I can sense a certain affinity between us and kindness we share. I don't think any harm will come of it. If you feel it'll help you, I will do it. She reaches out to you. Now take my hands and close your eyes. As you take her hands, a scent like baking bread and honey overwhelms you. She begins to sing in a soft but resonant contralto. The melody fills your head, making it heavy with slumber, so that your chin drops to your chest. You feel like you're being lowered gently into a warm bath. The water closes over your head, but there is no fear of drowning. You have returned to the womb, where all is comforting darkness and the steady pulse of a beating heart. Whoa! Oh, am I back in the labyrinth? You're looking, a lot more well-rested than you usually do. Something feels odd about this man, but it takes a while to put your finger on it. It's his thoughts. They weren't there, or rather, they're there, but they're indistinct. Kind of white noise that blends in too well with the background hush of this place. Are you always here? He shrugs. Where else would I be? I found the resonance chamber, but it's broken. Yeah, I saw that. I don't see everything you do out there in the world, but I definitely saw that. You have to find a way to fix it. Is there anything to do while I'm here? You mean apart from the cabaret acts, distilleries, and endless adventure just behind the next wrinkle in your mind? He jabs you in the arm with his elbow. Ha! And if you believe that, sorry, but this is your mind. There's nothing like that here. I've looked. Still, you've changed things plenty already. I wouldn't be surprised if something showed up here eventually. Has anything changed since the last time I was here? He shrugs. Look around. It's your mind.
Fine.
Okay, I will. Oh, but I can't go down there. The sorrow shattered the glass leading back to the dark fathom. Glass shards hiss when you touch them.
Yes. Now.
Right, so there doesn't seem to be anything else to do here right now. So maybe I should come back here, have her put me in a trance again when I've done some other things that may have altered this place. Okay.
Thank you.
Alright. Tranquility smiles. I'm so pleased, and I'm sure you'll be most comfortable. The price is 20 shins per person. Oh wow, that's gonna be 80 shins. Well, luckily I can afford it.
I feel like I can take on the world.
Nice. I got me some 11 intellect. I'm ready to tackle some challenges. Airship captain, huh? I'm almost... Is this the captain of the airship that Eridas stole? Well, one way to find out. Oh, there. Okay.
All right.
Something to do.
Is this like a sewer entrance or something? The synth panel lies flush with the ground. You can see no way to pry it open. Packed bundles of sealed urns line the area, waiting to be taken into the city or loaded onto a ship. How much money do I have left after that? 43. I hope it'll be enough to get Alson Perry to heal Ren. Master Radio.
Ready.
The airship master is keeping a nervous eye on his vessel. He's a short and wiry man dressed in travel-stained but well-kept clothing. He is chewing on his impeccably groomed mustache in frustration. As you approach, he turns away from his vessel. Welcome to Master Renio's Aerophile Adventures. I'm afraid that I will not be departing anytime soon. Not since the theft. He says the word carefully, as if holding it at bay. Oh, so I'm guessing that Eratus stole the airship from Master Renio. I've always taken pains to see the best in people, he confides, swallowing hard. But that was before that runty, glowing, straw-haired idiot stole the coronet, my prized airship. He shakes his head, genuinely distraught. Until that thief is caught, my ship remains in dock, safely shuttered and chained. Does he not see him right there? He breaks off when he sees Eratus standing near you. Him! That's the thief! Thief? Never stolen a thing in my life. I have borrowed, certainly, but always with the intention of returning the item to its proper owner. Though I must admit that I haven't always been entirely successful. I demand compensation. My vessel, my source of livelihood, snatched by this vagrant. He stares hard at the oblivious glaive. I require justice. I will take it in the form of service. Is there any other way we can resolve this? I would prefer that the guilty party make amends, but I would accept monetary compensation for the losses. He shakes his head. I doubt the young thief has the money at hand, however.
I'll remember that.
He pries at the bridge of his nose with ink-smudged fingers. I'd consider bringing the matter of compensation before the council clerk. Well, we've had a number of arguments in the recent past. I doubt he'll help me. That four-eyed bastard won't pick up a pen without grease for his wheels. Damn, if I'm giving him any. I'll speak with him. Wait here. Really? He says, his eyebrows climbing. Well, good luck. The gentleman is somewhat difficult to work with. You'll find the clerk outside Council Tower in Government Square. Well, I'm going to be heading that way anyway.
All right.
Anything out here to interact with? No?
All right.
Allow me.
Of course we can help. Right, Al?
The airship. This thing. Atop a nearby plateau, you can just make out the top of a small dome of scintillating blue energy.
Of course.
This craft is capable of carrying one person, two at most. The interior is richly appointed with satin pillows, and the air feels cooler inside.
At last!
Quijano del Toboso. Was it Quijano del
Eratus,
Toboso?
stop fidgeting. Be still and silent. All three.
This scrawny old man practically rattles inside dull and dented armor that was clearly made for someone bigger than him. Nonetheless, his eyes burn with a bottomless fire, and his smile, as fierce as it is genuine, flashes beneath his graying thicket of a beard. Another night, he bellows, clapping your shoulders with his gauntleted hands. You barely keep your feet. The man is stronger than he looks. Another hero in search of great adventure. You stand before the wandering knight, Quijano del Toboso. What brings you to the summit of Mount Ethiador? He is armed like a knight, though he carries himself strangely. We seek challenges that will test our very limits, Eratus declares, and then we will shun those challenges as unworthy of us and seek quests that shake the foundations of the possible, that defy belief. For we are not just adventurers, noble stranger. We are the breath of adventure herself. Another hero. He is too strong, too strange. Tears swell in Quijano's eyes. and he fishes a monogrammed handkerchief from the depths of one of his bracers. Such a noble company, he says hoarsely, dabbing his cheeks. Such a noble goal. Were I not committed to my own path, I would seek to join yours. He sighs heavily. But I will not. Instead, might I seek your blessing? Veritas, would you bless Quijano, as he asked? I was hoping you would ask, he says, and turns to Quijano, spreading his arms, his mouth working soundlessly. The elderly knight bows his head. May your glory always find you. May your burdens only strengthen you, and each of your scars tell a better story than the last. And when your enemies are too many, and your wounds too severe, may you fall with a smile on your face, and peace in your faltering heart. That is lovely. Who wrote that? We did. Well said, Quijano says, raising moist eyes. Well said. He straightens, and oddly, seems larger somehow, taller even. Truly a knight. I feel his blessing coursing through my veins. Quijano also gains the inspired fettle. All right, well. Why did you call this Mount Ithiador? It's a city, not a mountain. A city, he says, his sweat-beaded brow drawing together. Your senses must have deserted you in the ascent. The heat has baked you in your armor. He lays a gentle hand on your shoulder, turning you towards the horizon. Do not allow delirium to blind you with your accomplishments. Good night. You have scaled the very heights of Mount Ithiador, the tooth of the world beast. Adventure lies in every shadow below us. Every sparkle of light is a quest, ready for the taking. So what brings you up here? Do you know, he says, that I'm not quite sure. My memory is not what it was. I recall kneeling before my family's armor in her estate some time ago. He blinks slowly. Perhaps I was weeping. He smashes his gauntlet against his chest, leaving a sizable dent. I can't recall, and it doesn't matter, for then I heard a thunderous roar, and beheld a great beast in the skies. I donned my armor and gave chase. What kind of beast was it? It defies description, he declares, and so I shall describe it to defy impossibility itself. 13 legs, 6 jaws, 1,000 eyes that glitter with malice and flame, scales the color of clouds. Alright, go on. The horrible beast leered down at me, promising destruction. I promised it death, and it fled across the sky. I followed, darting between the trees. He pauses, frowning, and I don't recall much after that. I remember walking, having various adventures along the way, of course, but I cannot recall why I came here. Ah, he says, raising a finger, of course. I must have had the frankly brilliant notion of scaling this lonely mountain, to better spot the beast from afar. He shakes his head, his wispy beard waggling. Alas, I've seen nothing so far. That was an amazing story. Thank you. You're most welcome, he says, patting your hand fondly. It is so good to share my tales with a fellow knight. Everyone else raises such peculiar doubts. So you said you're looking for great adventure? Yes, but I feel I must speak plainly, he says, plucking at his beard. Too many people have mistaken me for a common mercenary. He straightens. I am not interested in entangling myself in local quarrels. I will not hunt a beast that cannot hunt me in return. And if I am to fight, it must be against a foe of such wickedness that the stars themselves would wink out rather than shine upon a world that could harbor such malevolent creatures. The Stika are digging tunnels underneath the city, causing homes to collapse into the sea. Digging under the ground? He shakes his head. No, I've never been much of a digger myself. Better with a blade than a shovel. To prevail against diggers, you need a digger of your own, not a knight like me. Imagine a knight with a shovel. What ridiculous foes he might face. Oh, you guys, that Shovel Knight reference. Farewell, Quijano del Toboso. I'll return if I can think of an enemy worthy of you.
Ready.
Allow me.
Dotted with air holes, several crates aboard this ship rattle and jump, apparently just as eager to disembark as the crew.
Here comes the Boredom Slayer.
As you wish.
Driftwood held off by suspension platforms provide a useful, if somewhat perilous, bridge between the dock and ships moored in the area. It looks like I've
Absolutely.
done pretty much everything here. So across this bridge, which will probably take me to Government Square. Oh, I haven't spoken to Omadon yet. This rogue man turns a golden bespeckled gaze and winning smile on you. He seems charming enough sort, but it's clear he wants something from you and is perfectly willing to take it. Politely, and with absolute guile, of course. At last, he says, someone who looks like they can see further than their nose. These Sagocytes are as observant as rocks. He clasps his hands together, pleading, please tell me you've seen a beautiful girl with purple hair. Her name is Persea. She's my beloved, and she suffers from a madness that causes her to fear everything. She can't stop running from imagined dangers, and I've been chasing her for, years now, trying to catch her and cure her before she hurts herself. Imagine, me, a danger to her. Why, I brought her back. I wonder if he's on the level or if he's some kind of stalker.
I'll remember that.
I recently tracked her here to Sagas Cliffs, but none of these blind fools can remember seeing her, even though I believe she stayed here for a time. He grips your arm. Let me give you a description so you will know her. She is heartbreakingly beautiful and wears winged hair combs that float around her head, constantly changing the arrangement of her purple hair. Please, if you see her or hear word of her, return and tell me. My name is Omadon. I can be most generous. Can you give me more details of Persea's appearance? As I said, she's hauntingly beautiful, with purple hair that floats around her head on winged combs. Her speech may seem confused, so pay no mind to what she says. It is only her madness talking. Once she's returned to me, I'll be able to cure her. What sort of things will Persea say when she's
I'll
waiting?
remember that.
Almost anything, but one of her more persistent delusions is that I am her enemy. Nothing could be further from the truth. When she's in her right mind, she loves me as I love her. But when her madness is upon her... Yeah, I'm not sure I believe you, buddy. His voice grows soft. It is more painful than the truth can say. I would never hurt her. I must make her realize the truth. Simple. If I can find her. What caused Persea to go mad? He frowns thoughtful. It is, I believe, some trauma associated with her birth or early life. We found that it could be overcome with love and care and certain medications, but even then, some lapses occur. It was during the last of these that Persea vanished. I have been on her trail ever since. I'm certain she will see clearly as soon as we are together. How do you hope to cure Persea's madness? With love, mostly, but also with certain ancient techniques I have learned in my years of study for the cooling and untwisting of fevered and knotted minds. I'm positive that once I'm able to isolate her from the corrupting distractions of the world, I'll be able to restore her to her true self. Alright, well, goodbye.
I'm going.
I should talk to my companions. I'll do that soon, but first, where's this Alison Perry somewhere around here? There she is. Well, hello there, she exclaims, catching sight of Rin. She smiles at you with renewed appreciation. It's good to see you. And you. She turns to Rin, crouching down so they can be on the same level. Wait, what's this? She reaches behind Rin's ear. When Rin turns to look at what she's doing, Alison taps her lightly on the nose. Rin laughs. Alison smiles. Such a gem. Yours? She glances up at you. Her expression softens at the look on your face. She stands and takes your hands in hers. You're a good person, she says simply, looking into your eyes as if willing you to believe it. Then she lets go. Foster girl. So few are willing to open their hearts these days. I can't ask her to heal Ren? Huh. I guess not. Well, that's a bummer. Maybe somebody else, or she just heals on her own. Interesting. Alright, well, with that we'll leave off here. Next time, I talk to Sigyn again and the council clerk, see if we can settle matters there. I should also go back down to Circus Minor now that I have all this intelligence pulled up. I can try to help out the Cult of the Changing God, and then we'll go from there.